Hello everybody! Welcome to my very first Let's Play, my very first video. So take it easy on me, this is new territory. So today we're going to be playing Final Fantasy Origins. This here is downloaded on the PlayStation 3 through the PlayStation Network. And my choice for this, well, we're going to get into details for that. So we're going to play the very original first Final Fantasy. Now, I have quite a few memories of Final Fantasy dating back to, my earliest years, my earliest memories. And with this one in particular, this is the first time I actually ever got to play the original Final Fantasy. My older siblings wouldn't let me because back then, the NES version only ever had the one save file. I just suppose it was really limited back then. When this came out in 2003, no such restrictions were in place. They could have had as many save files as a memory card could have. And that much more on a more modern system like the PlayStation 3. Now, this is probably our only look at this particular character, the Warrior of Light, in the actual Final Fantasy 1. Which is ironic, considering he never really shows up in the main game itself, just in this introductory video that came out with the Origins version, and in promotional art, and in his representative appearance in Dissidia, the fighting game. To say the least, he's very cool. Also, the only time I've ever known him to smile. I will always appreciate Square Enix's inspiring designs of dragons. That gives Smaug a run for his money right there. So this video doesn't give us a whole heck of a lot of context. You'll just have to get through gameplay for that. But, like, I'd say about half of all Final Fantasy games across the main series, crystals have a large part to do with it. We'll just take that on faith. Fun fact, the prelude you're listening to, Nobuo Uematsu came up with that in like one night when he was put on the spot. So no wonder it sounds like Scales, but a very beautiful version of it all the same. So like I said earlier, this game is a... Let's go and skip past this, we're going to see this anyways, as soon as I start a new game here. So like I said, this is a remake of the original, and actually the very first full-on from the ground-up remake that Square ever did one of its earlier titles. Yeah, there were ports of Final Fantasies 4, 5, and 6 onto the PlayStation from their Super Nintendo counterparts, but, you know, those were just ports. This actually was remade. So I know I hit load game when I said I was going to do a new game. Reason being is that, oh crud. I thought I had a completed game save file. Alright, it's going to be a much more pure version, I suppose, then. New game, and... as much as I'd like to get through this playthrough fast, we're just going to go ahead and do normal mode. Okay, Warrior, Thief, White Mage, Black Mage. So this is the party I'm going to go ahead and go with. The Monk and the Red Mage are quite special to me too, but this is like the classic format. So, I could do the very generic thing and name them like characters after all the rest of the series, but let's do something that's just a little bit more unique and ironic. So let's see, the Warrior in red, let's call him Jason, because I'm a Power Rangers geek and I'm not sorry. Let's see, the Green Ranger, you thought I was going to do Tommy, didn't you? That's okay, we'll visit your Grange Dune soon enough, buddy. Okay, White Mage, You know what? I have no idea. Alright. Let's go ahead and fall back on classic White Mage. Despite the fact not being able to use bows, but in my defense, Final Fantasy 1 didn't have bows. That didn't happen until Final Fantasy 2. And this is no reference to anything in particular, so whatever. I just like it. Jason, Link, Rosa, Joey. Let's hit it. Oh. Okay, whatever. Alright. So, naturally, with the Origins version, it is far, far more polished than the classic 8-bit sprite versions of the original Final Fantasy, which I very much appreciate. But some of the still classic things apply. You still gotta go in and buy your weapons as usual. Nunchaku is pretty much useless, even if I did have a monk to use it. Knife? Not much better. Okay, let's see, we're gonna go and get a staff for Joey, 2 rapiers for our warrior and thief, and a hammer for Rosa. And our offensive capability is filled out, but of course we're gonna need a few defenses. Let's see, 2 shirts for the mages, leather armor for the thief, and a chainmail for the warrior. Now, most of us would take this for granted, but there's something I really appreciate about remakes like these that we just simply didn't have back in the NES version. Optimize! 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 And you also see down below that we get to see what effect it has on attack, accuracy, defense, and evasion. You didn't have quite that convenience of seeing that while you were equipping in the NES version. You actually had to go look at the status screen afterwards. So, you know, it's the little things. The devil in the details, as it were. Okay, so we only have the money to buy 2 spells. So, fire for Joey. And, naturally, the one thing that makes the White Mage so all-important. The ability to cure. Now, it's fascinating to me that this came out in 2003, so the convention of naming spells in different tiers with the simple elemental names, and then, you know, like Fyra and then Fyraga, the Ara and Aga system, they didn't do that. They just stuck to Fire 1, Fire 2, Fire 3. Fair enough, I suppose. Oh yeah, and then this was added to force you to go see the king if you visited the town. Which, okay, whatever. It's fine, we're gonna have to do it anyways, because if we don't talk to the king, then we can't get through the door to fight the first boss. Crystal bears? Yeah. Where we got those crystals is anybody's guess, but, you know, destiny. We don't question it. When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. Da, 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 da. But, your majesty, we have no proof that these are the 4 true light warriors. What proof would you require? Okay, whatever. Surely it is not coincidence that 4 warriors bearing crystals have appeared now. Brave ones, I need your help. Please rescue my daughter Sarah. Yeah, alright. Garland, once a knight in His Majesty's service, has abducted Princess Sarah. We have learned that he is in the Temple of Chaos, north of Cornelia. We attempted to rescue the princess, but his power far surpasses ours. Which, as soon as I fight this guy, that's going to be very embarrassing for them to admit that. Well, you'll see for yourself, believe me. Perhaps you wish to cross the Northern Strait. The bridge that once spanned it was long lost ago. I think I misread. Sorry. If you bring my daughter back safely, I will build a new bridge. I'm counting on you. Alright, get to work on that bridge, because, believe me, this is not going to take long. Oh yeah, and another feature that remakes like these feature. Dash button! Okay. So, in easy mode, I can just, you know, at level 1, just go ahead and beat the crap out of Garland right now. But, in normal mode, it's still not as hard as the NES version, which was ridiculous. But I still gotta grind just a bit. Now in future videos, it's my full-on intention of editing out the excess amount of battles and grinding I'm going to do. It's going to get boring after a while. But for this first and maybe second video, I think we're going to go ahead and go with it because I have quite a few things to say. Okay, we got goblins here. I don't think a lot of people appreciate that goblins are, like a lot of classic monsters in Final Fantasy, they've appeared in almost all Final Fantasies that I can think of off the top of my head. But then again, maybe people don't appreciate it because they appear like in all fantasy anyway, so it's just kind of standard in the broad thing of things. Okay. Ooh, another thing I appreciate. In the NES version, there was no auto-targeting, so if an enemy died before everyone was done attacking it, they would be attacking air. And that offers a certain sense of strategy and planning, sure, but it is just so much better this way. I mean, I attacked one goblin, just imagine how terrible it would have been to completely not to pay attention to that. Okay. So, I'm just going to go and keep doing this until I get up to level 3. That should be more than enough to finish off Garland. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and spread out my attacks just to see how well certain characters can do. Let's see, Rosa couldn't do it. I think they have like an HP of 8. Ooh, critical hit. Thank you, Joey. Link and Jason will definitely be able to do it. I mean, there are sometimes that Link will probably let me down, but that's just the way it's gonna be. Okay, yep, go ahead and just pile it on. Oh, you got him that time, Rosa. What's the deal? Now, I named the White Mage based on the idea that I think it is a girl, a woman, a female. But it is considered largely ambiguous or disambiguous, whatever the right word is. You know what I mean. Basically, you can think of the White Mage as male or female, and that's just fine. All the other characters just seem to be very plainly and obviously male. Well, except maybe the Black... Okay, the White Mage and Black Mage, it's open to interpretation, what gender they have going on underneath those robes there. But the other 4 characters, almost definitely male. So, a modern-day convenience. You get to determine gender for yourself without much in the way of argument. But, I don't know, I guess over the years I've just gotten used to the idea that the White Mage is the lone girl of the group. Wolves. Another fairly standard creature that people don't really think of as standard creatures in the Final Fantasy series. And really not much more of a threat than goblins. Alright, making some money, gathering some experience. I'm mostly sticking in this forest area because I want to grind, and the forests are known to have a slightly higher encounter rate. Ooh! Enemies get a preemptive strike. I'd actually be worried if they were anything other than goblins. Gotta keep an eye on Joey there. As soon as this battle's over, or maybe even during the battle, if it goes badly, I better drop a cure spell on him. Now, one of the things I appreciate about this particular Origins remake over the remakes that come after this one is that they kept the spell charge system rather than the magic point system. And the difference, outside of actually showing you the game, I wouldn't know how to describe it effectively. Fortunately, I'm playing the game right now, so we got a nice visual. So let's go ahead and have a look. Hey, levels up. 23, 27, 45. Yeah, the NES version is very stingy with HP growth sometimes. You can get like 1 or 2 HP at a level up. That's something that they fixed in this Origins version to make, a level up far more spectacular. Although I guess there's... Oh dear. I guess there's maybe some danger of loss in that. Makes you appreciate in the original NES version how much HP that you don't get from level up, so you don't know if you're going to get something great. And when you do get something great, it's that much more special. Whereas if you level up here, you know it's something special. So, it's ultimately a trade-up, but something's a little lost. Okay, so Magic, White Mage. So you see that each class of spells, 1 through 8, has their own different sets of magic points that don't relate to each other. And each spell in each class only uses 1 charge. It's very simple, and I very much appreciate it. The magic point system ultimately is better for management and all kinds of other intricacies, but it's just nice to have something that calls back to the original and the way that system worked. And another thing I really appreciate about this system over the magic point system is that it really forces you to budget and plan your dungeon crawling, whereas the MP system gives you probably just a little bit too much freedom. Alright, yeah, let's go ahead and start a save. And, let's see, I don't want to... Yeah, File 1, I named him after characters I know from Highlander, and File 2 from Metal Gear Solid, because I'm ironic. This time, I just kind of pulled from wherever the dang place I liked. Jason from Power Rangers because he's red, Link because he's green and probably an elf, Rosa, the White Mage from Final Fantasy IV, and Joey just because... Yeah, leave me alone, I like the name Joey. Alright, so I said level 3, but to avoid the risk of this video maybe running a bit, let's just go ahead and take on Garland now and see what we get. Alright, it's probably going to be fine. Okay... Oh, yeah, we're going to be fine. Yeah, sometimes the cursor selection is a little bit too fluid and I end up choosing the wrong thing without meaning to. Okay, as I go further north, we're gonna get some slightly tougher enemies. I mean, sure, there'll be nothing later, but at this stage in the game, at level 2... spoke too soon. Wolves. I might be concerned if they were red or paler shade of green, because those would be wargolves and werewolves. But these ones, yeah, I'm not too worried about. Not yet. I mean, just wait until we get to spiders and zombies and skeletons. Okay, scratch that last one. Skeletons aren't that big of a concern either. Okay, this here is the Chaos Shrine, or Temple of Chaos, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Temple of Chaos in this version. And no dungeon crawling here per se, we just go straight up and there he is. Ooh, and another feature I really love about the Origins version, memo files. Saved in the game's RAM, so it's this file is going to be around until I shut down the system. And the idea is, if I get a game over, I can pick right up where I left off rather than where I saved in town or used a tent. And that's a convenience that probably makes the game a little bit too convenient, but forget it, I'm going to abuse it as much as I want. No one can stop me now. Oh yeah, another thing that we lost in this particular translation, Garland doesn't yell his hilariously iconic phrase, "I shall knock you all down." Small losses. Very well, I shall take on all of you! But one particular addition I love, boss music. For real, honest, heart-pumping boss music. In the original NES version, it was the same battle music no matter what fight you had, whether it's against a goblin or the final boss himself. And it's awesome battle music, it really is, but you gotta have boss music, come on. Yeah, I think I got this guy. He's missed his first shot. I might even get him this round. Ooh. I think he made me try to pay for that. Yeah, even in the normal mode, which is the hardest mode that we have for the Origins version, Garland's not really packing a whole lot of heat. I'm not even sure he's that much harder in the NES version. Okay, Princess Sarah. I will always be mystified that you have green hair even though your promotional art shows you as a blonde. Japanese games. I love them. Thank you for saving my life. I am Sarah, Princess of Cornelia. Please come to the castle with me. My father will be most grateful for your valor. Practically the only time where you get instantly taken to a safe place after going into a danger zone. Minus teleport tiles, but that comes later. My daughter's safe. I'm forever in your debt. Lucan's prophecy has proven true. You must be the light warriors of whom he spoke. So I ask you to do what only the light warriors can. Rekindle the light of the crystals. Only then will the monsters infesting the world be banished and peace finally restored. To aid your journey, I will build a bridge to the north. I am afraid that is all I can do for you. Hey, it's more than enough, dude. Okay, she won't let me leave unless I talk to her, but... you know, she's got some. This loot has been passed down to the princesses of Cornelia for generations. Garland took it when he abducted me. Had he not come, he would surely have put it to some terrible use. Please accept it as my gift to you. It may prove useful. You know, actually I like kind of these full circle things, because this loot that she gives me, which is at the very beginning of the game, is of no use whatsoever until the very end of the game in the final dungeon. I like that. I like that it ties into this whole idea of relevance. You know, that, you know, something that happens at the beginning ties into the end. It's a really small thing, and maybe even a bit contrived, but it's better that it's there than for it to not be, I think. Now we get this little cool cutscene that was added to the Origins version of them working on the bridge. It's fun, it's cute, you know, looking at sprites just create what ends up being more tiles. And this cute little ditty version of the castle theme. Alright, nothing to that. I save the princess, you build a bridge. Seems like a pretty good trade for me. Sir, it is completed, sir! The bridge is now finished, stronger than ever. Yay. Just once in real life, I like to see someone celebrate like that, just throw their arms up with their mouths wide open over and over in a repeated pattern as a form of celebration or accomplishment. That would just crack me up. Okay, now just to go ahead and get us ourselves to the end of the video, let's go ahead and trigger this cutscene. Immediately afterward, I'm going to go ahead and head back to town to use the inn and save my game. because that's one thing that this game retains from the NES version. The Origins version is that in order to save, you have to either properly use an inn or a tent, sleeping bag, or cottage. Memo files, they erase as soon as you turn off the system. And so, their journey began. As warriors of light, the four youths faced a staggering mission and a stormy destiny. Sorry, this text is so slow I have to kind of talk like William Shatner here. The four crystals they carried remained a mystery to them. In ages past, those crystals had radiated a dazzling light. Maybe you could use a fast forward function here. The time for heroes is at hand. Darkness must be banished so the light of peace can illuminate the world once more. To be fair, I can push start past this and just be over and done with it, but you know, I'm going for a little bit of presentation and pageantry here. Call it what you like. You know, this is my first time doing one of these videos, and I'm actually quite thrilled at doing it. So, alright, so that is the beginning of Final Fantasy Origins. My main purpose is going to be talking about differences and remakes, and how this particular remake, what it got right, and maybe some things it didn't quite get right. And I hope my perspectives will find some light in and of itself. So thank you all, and let's enjoy this journey together. Later!